Hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. Tonight we have... I always thought something was off about my basement. Or as the full title is... I always thought something was off about my basement, but I had no idea how terrifying the truth was. And this one wasn't even on Reddit No Sleep.
Yeah, it might be in the running for the longest title ever. I forgot to do a word count of that and compare it, but oh well.
Yeah. So this story was written by Cliff Barlow. It's on creepypasta.wiki, but it was first published on Thought Catalogue back in February 1st of 2014. I'm just basically reading off of what was noted down at the bottom of with the author on creepypasta.wiki. But yeah, we'll go into the rundown for this. Narratorman, because we don't get a name. Him and his family used to live in an apartment, and then they decided to get a place like a house. They don't really mention the surroundings of the house, right? It's just they move into a big house.
They lived in a small apartment, and they're moving to a bigger house that has a lot of room inside.
Yeah, but they never mentioned the outdoors or anything like that. Okay. Because for some reason I wanted to insert that it was somewhere in the woods or something, or but we don't, that's not neither here nor there.
Or it's a house with a white picket fence kind of deal.
Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched Pet Sematary recently, so I was like Maine, somewhere in New England. Actually, we'll get into that later with my stuff. But yeah, so they moved to a new house, and it's awesome, except for the basement, because there's this weird echoing effect coming off of this one section underneath the stairs where some drywall has been put on the wall, and it doesn't match anywhere else in the basement. Also, the basement in itself is kind of creepy because it's just this giant concrete room with wrongly angled piping and stuff like that in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is being told to us as by the narrator as they recall from their 7-year-old self.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's just something off about it, and the sounds did make gave him pause, and there was some weird discoloration on some of the drywall. What?
Damn my mind. The sound gave him pause. Ah! As he holds up his hands. Sorry, go ahead. Please continue.
Yes. So he just doesn't really trust the basement, and specifically, even more so when at night he would hear when he went to go grab some either
laundry.
Drink. No, he was at night when he was going down to the fridge to get a bite to eat or something.
Oh yes.
He heard a tapping sound coming from downstairs, and he went downstairs. No, that's actually isn't that from when the laundry? That is.
He goes downstairs.
He did hear weird sounds though from that night.
Yeah, he starts the first step, and then the nope sound.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
He can't do it. Also, yeah, he knows that there's a weird echo effect because he tapped on the weird discolored part of the drywall. Mm-hmm. We're all over the place apparently already.
When you say we, it's mainly you.
I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Either way, the first thing he does is he goes down there, checks out the creepy place. There's the one discolored wall. He knocks on it. It sounds hollow.
Yeah.
End of session. He goes up.
Yeah, and then a couple of nights later or whatever, he goes. He hears a tapping noise, and
he goes to go down.
Goes to go down, but he
gets spooked out and runs away.
Tells his parents, and then he's like, "Oh, it's probably just the water heater clicking or something in the night." But he knows better. And then his mom wants him to go bring some laundry, and when he goes down there, he hears the tapping again, and also some whispering that he can't quite legibly hear, he can't understand it. So that freaks him the fuck out. He runs back upstairs and convinces his parents through his scaredness that.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but what scared him was as he was going up with the laundry, there was a thump on the inside of the stairs.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
that scares the crap out of him.
He hears the tapping, the whispering, grabs the laundry, starts going upstairs, and then there's a massive thump. from like underneath the stairs, and he just books it, and then he convinces his parents through his fear that he's never going back down there, and they basically just okay, we're not going to let Nairman go down there, Nair go down there anymore, or
Nair go down there,
yeah, don't want to go down there, Nair,
yeah.
So, and then like stuff starts kind of like getting better, and he like has a couple of happy moments and stuff in his life, and then his kid brother goes missing one night, just vanishes, and there's a weird like a roughly scrawled letter, like ransom note, left in the crib or in his bed. Saying that you have to leave this much money at this certain spot. Don't call the cops or your kid's dead. Yeah. And so what do they have? The parents have an argument. The mom eventually convinces the dad that they should have the cops come in and like help deal with it. So they like tap the area, or they basically like try to do a sting up at the ransom area. They show up with the money. The guy never shows up, and the brother is just gone. Like missing for the rest of his childhood and the rest of most of his life.
His parents split.
Yeah. Basically, this destroys the family. The parents who are a young couple, like a young family, or like young parents basically. They can't deal with it like together, so they divorce, and then the mom kills herself a year later. The dad tries to be a good dad to Nair, but. Even like it's just like there's this burden about like the never knowing where like the brother went and stuff like that. So now we cut to Nair is an adult. He's always had this on his mind. In one drunken night, he decided to go back to the old house and investigate the basement. And
it's still up for sale or something.
Yeah, it's vacant. Yeah, it's still not been touched and stuff like that. So he goes in, finds goes down to the basement. Sees the discolored drywall and just breaks through, like just rams it and crashes into basically a boneyard, a small bone room. There are just baby and child skeletons, all like down in this
headless ones,
headless and gnawed on. So something was eating the children, and they've removed the heads. And then he finds a trap door that leads down into a tunnel that goes around, like underneath the basement to the other side.
It's only like high enough to crawl through.
Yeah, and he managed, and it's like it's basically opens up behind the dryer. So, and then as he gets out of there and realizing all this stuff, the lights turn off in the basement, and he hears somebody coming down the stairs. And then a few minutes later, he hears a guttural scream, like some weird indecipherable scream, or like yowling or whatever.
Inhuman kind of scream.
Yeah. As whatever it is, discovered that the drywall had been bashed open and stuff like that. So Nair just nopes out, just runs up the stairs, gets into his car as quick as he can. He thinks he sees the creature like pop up, or the person or creature pop up near his car, but he's out. He's gone. He makes it to the nearest police station and files a report. And actually, the cops actually investigate and actually find what he found, and he's kind of praised as like a local hero because they basically can close a bunch of cold cases because of this. But he now lives in fear because the thing was never caught, and it's still out there somewhere. So that's kind of the terror and fear of the story by the end. But at least his mom, at least him and his dad, can have some closure, some proper closure on like what happened to their son. Yeah. / brother. Because I added son. It's like they're not both their sons. Yeah. Anyway,
we get it. It's fine.
So that's the rundown for the story. I apologize for it being hack and slashed and topsy turvy.
Not on.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Disarray. Heads missing. So, I guess we'll move on to everyone expects the Grandma Inquisitions at this point. Something about that sound immediately put me ill at ease. I walked up the stairs as I could hear the same hollow sound echo in the emptiness of the basement. This one might be really nitpicky, since I apparently it gave me pause there for a second to realize what I was going with in that. Perhaps add an as I walked, like as in the second paragraph, just like as I walked up the stairs, I could hear. Oh no, you know what? I walked up the stairs as I could hear the same hollow echoing. Okay. Sorry, it's just a weird, like, I don't know why did I write this? hang on a second.
Well, you can answer that.
My suggestion was add an as before the I at the beginning of that sentence, rather than have it after the stairs. So like,
can you start with as's? Can you
Yeah.
start with as?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a front button or a front end. It's like as I walked up the stairs, I could hear the same hollow sound echo in the emptiness of the basement. I'm going to actually partially revoke this. Like this is like really this one, even for me, like I don't like future, like past me was like really, I don't like nitpicking here on this one. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that one, I don't think. The next one, as we settled into our new home, I began to get comfortable with my surroundings. The house began to feel familiar, everywhere that is, except for the basement. It just always put me off, and I avoided going down there as best as I could. Our family couldn't be happier. My loving father and mother doted over me and my little brother. My life was perfect. Then it began. This feels like a bit of a mess of sentences, like they're not in the right order. To me, like when I read this paragraph and as I like realized this one, I can actually like understand what the hell past me was thinking.
Okay.
Like he's fine with his house except for the basement that he doesn't trust. Mm-hmm. But then his family is perfect, and then it happens. Like it just felt sort of abrupt between sentences, like between these like contrasting sentences. Like there's no like meshing or segueing between them. Like parts of this paragraph I feel could be removed or added to like the previous paragraphs regarding the basement, and then go further into the issues with the basement thereafter. Like, like the previous two paragraphs, like before this one, we're talking about how much he was terrified of the basement, and then he goes in. It's like the house was fine, the house was great, except for the basement. My family was loving, and my parents doted around us. Everything was perfect, and then it happened. Like it just seemed like it almost seemed like an unnecessary paragraph. Like you could have just fixed this with like one sentence.
It's essentially saying that, like, yeah, you could just kind of summarize it as everything was fine except for the weirdness of that basement.
Yeah, you could just like have that and like that be
at the end of the basement paragraph.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just seemed like this was kind of an unnecessary paragraph of it was just summarizing what we already knew about the situation. And then my next one is, I remember lifting up little Jonathan above my head lovingly as his pacifier fell out of his mouth and brushed against my nose, tickling me. I just feel like there needs to be a comma between nose and tickling, like give a little bit of a break. Like,
so he's not nose tickling him?
Yeah, exactly. Not nose tickling him. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. The next one is, so I broke into the house bolstered by alcohol. So this one, it's comma, I broke into the house bolstered by alcohol. I just feel like there should be a second comma in there between house and bolstered. Like,
I feel like the so comma is not necessary.
Yeah, even so doesn't even really need to be there. It's like I broke into the house, comma, bolstered by alcohol.
No, well, is it a front so?
Yeah, it is.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it is. If you feel
it seems like an as
so inclined.
Oh, really?
Maybe get rid of the so because you really don't need it there.
Well, yeah. That's one of my grammar Nazis. Get rid of the so.
I got it for you.
I know.
Only because there's another thing I had issue with that story, that sentence, and I was like, well, there's a so there, so I might as well address that. Yeah, I just feel like a comma would have been just help break that up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The next one I have, I decided to do it, knowing I would likely find nothing under the basement stairs, but hoping that this would close a too long chapter in my life and allow me to finally move on. Rather than say I decided to do it, period, knowing I would, comma, put the comma instead of a period, so that it would make it a longer sentence. But I decided to do it, knowing that it just seems like you didn't really need that period, that small short sentence there.
The one thing that confused me for a second was it's like closing the too long chapter of my life thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be kind of clear if there's like just a straight up number put on it, or just closing a
lifelong. Yeah, honestly, I think too long is putting a too long. Like, it just seems kind of odd the way you read that.
Yep.
It's like, but hoping that this would close a lifelong chapter in my life. Yeah. Or a lifelong chapter, and allow me to. Well, yeah, because you can't do lifelong chapter because
it's not his entire life.
But hoping that this would close a long chapter in my life. It doesn't have to be too long. Like, I don't know.
Or a stress-filled chapter. Like
a
depressing chapter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like A2 seems weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't. That's just me.
Yeah, and even I was like, that's a little nitpicking. Like, that's not entirely a problem right there. But...
Nah, not really.
All right, on to the next one. I stare at the spot in the drywall, still discolored, still just as ominous as it was when I was a child. So it's stared. Keep to the past tense. You're doing pretty good all this whole story.
Yeah, because this happened recently, but it's not right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then indelible. Indelible, adjective. Not able to be forgotten or removed. I learned a new word today.
I did too.
And this is in regards to it was like indelible in his mind or something like that.
Yeah, something like
that. The next one, and my final one for grammar requisitions. Worrying the darkness would not adequately hide me, I sought cover by ducking behind the dryer, not willing to take the risk of catching a glimpse, though... that's where they're... Sorry, let's start from the top. Oh, hello.
You did it.
Worrying the darkness would not adequately hide me, comma, I sought cover by ducking behind the dryer, not willing to take the risk of catching a glimpse, though every fiber of my being screamed to do so. I feel like there needs to be a comma between glimpse and though, so that you have that break like you had earlier with not adequate. Worrying the darkness would not adequately hide me, comma, I sought to cover, and then it goes to not willing to take the risk of catching a glimpse, comma, though every fiber of my being screamed to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was getting a little long-winded.
Yeah. And that is my grammar positions. Mikey, what do you got?
Alright, I have a front butt.
I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
This is creepypasta after all.
Well, I mean, we don't want them, but...
I'm not saying we want them, I'm just saying they're there. Mm-hmm. They're always there. Just like Narrativin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or Spook Steve's.
Who? There's no such thing.
Shut up.
There's only Nair.
No, there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
As I grew up, I accepted the official story of what happened, but lately, curiosity began to get the better of me.
Yeah, like you do, lately, however, curiosity has been beginning to get me. Yeah.
And then we've already done the front so.
Sorry. How dare you.
And then, my other one is sort of a nitpick because of an acronym.
Oh, yeah?
I rationalized that my mother or father must have gone down there for some reason and lost myself in SMB3.
Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, so it's not Smash Many Buttons 3?
No.
A gamer would not get that reference, is what I'm saying.
A gamer?
Yeah.
He's saying a non-gamer would not get the reference.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
So just write it out.
Yeah,
that's true.
Nitpick, but,
however, the previous sentence or two, he was talking about playing Nintendo.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, what is SMB3?
I'll give it to you this. A newer generation won't get that. may not get that.
Yeah, Mario's not a thing anymore. They don't understand.
No, but like Super
I
Super
know.
Mario stuff isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's kind of a nitpick.
He's not under a word count situation, so...
Yeah, but at the same time, you're also not under a word count. Like he can also like maybe that's how his group of friends.
That's the way
the character writes.
Yeah, that's the way the character thinks.
Like I'm just devil's advocate. Like I get you. Like it's like I understand where you're coming from with like just
It alienates non-gamers.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not that. It's not that. It didn't ruin the flip the table for me. So, yeah, that's fair though.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I have for grammar inquisitions.
You okay?
Okay.
Did you have to look it up?
No.
Okay.
He's just saying that
I'm just-
non-gamers would be alienated.
Yeah.
You're just trying to throw him under the bus if you didn't know.
No, I'm just like it's like on that possible it's like did Mikey not know what the SMB means? Super Mario Brothers?
Super Smash Brothers. Almost close.
No, it's Super Meat Boy 3.
Oh my god!
Yep.
This is actually in the 2080s.
Makes sense to me.
Makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one of mine was because the sentence started with as and I didn't like it, so I swapped it to when. But if as isn't really too big of a deal, then I don't care.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not like so or like, it's actually.
But it sounds like it's the same thing. Like
Well,
it
it can be.
Yeah.
If they were thinking because. If because fits in the exact same scenario, then yeah, the as isn't needed.
But they're going like as they were going up there.
Yeah, it's saying as I close the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
it's like during the motion of closing the refrigerator, this
Yeah.
happens. Yeah. So then my only other one is this is when he goes down the stairs. I believe I think this is when he goes down as an adult.
Yeah.
Or maybe to do the laundry. I don't remember. My ears perked up. Period. There it was again. Period. That hollow tapping sound. Period. That same sound I heard on my initial visit to the basement from hitting the drywall. Period. I turned on the light, steeling myself to go down the stairs and investigate. Period. There's a lot of periods.
That was during the fridge. I think that was like during the when he went downstairs to go to the fridge.
Laundry.
Yeah. No.
He didn't go down for a fridge.
There's a goddamn story. I'm gonna look that up because that.
Do you mean when he was about to go down and he got spooked and didn't?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, a lot of periods.
Yeah.
So the way I kind of pushed it together a little bit was my ears perked up as I heard it again, comma, that hollow tapping sound, comma, the same sound that I heard on my initial visit from hitting the drywall, period. I turned on the lights, comma, steeling myself to go down the stairs and investigate.
Yeah.
So instead of that being like 5 or 6 sentences, it's 2.
Yeah. Like I mean, the reason why he's doing the periods, like all those shorter ones, is like for emphasis on what's going on. But
Yeah.
no, I actually don't mind your reinterpretation of it.
There's a point where it's like too much. Like there's like so many things being highlighted that technically none of them are highlighted because there's so much highlighted.
At a certain point, it becomes just jot notes.
Yeah, kind of. And that's it.
Okay. So on to actual thoughts. Later, I mentioned the incident to my parents, and they just assured me what I heard was the sound of the hot water heater clicking in the night. I knew better, but welcome to the logical explanation. Oh, the determined imagination of a child. Just like it's like, all right, I'll buy that. Though I know it's secretly a monster in the basement tapping on the wall. Rap, tap, tap.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Yeah, like this statement
It's the man in the wall.
Yeah, it really is a man in the wall.
Yeah.
Or it's the rats in the walls for Lovecraft fans.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, the statement reminds me of what I love about the RPG Little Fears. In that game and the setting, this exact situation can occur where like guy goes upstairs, hears a weird sound in the basement, asks his parent, like lets his parents know they think it's that, and they give it a logical explanation, but then it's actually like something like more monstrous or sinister. Like it's not simply just the water heater, and as the story shows, it wasn't simply just a water heater. It was something actually tapping. And did you guys clue in that, like, because he tapped on the wall to test out that wall, that's why it was like the creature on the other side was tapping it to try and get his attention too? Is kind of what I inferred from that.
Yeah, because it wasn't happening before.
He instigated the tapping by tapping on the wall. Yeah. But yeah, I just, like, it reminded me of, like, Little Fears and, like, those kind of, like, childhood, like, horror situations. Like, it's just a nice little creepy moment. Or not creepy moment, like, nice little moment of, like the parents trying to give, like, a logical explanation, and the reader, the creator, the character tries to follow that, but at the same time, like, they know, and we know, as reader, that's not what it is.
Well, because, like, previously to talking to her parents, it's narrative.
Nair's parents.
They figured, like, there's no other explanation. It has to be a monster. So the fact that there could be a mundane explanation, it brings calm to them. It's like, okay, well, it could be that. It's not just a monster.
Yeah.
But it's probably a monster.
Yeah. Not saying it's monsters, but it's monsters.
Yeah.
I wish we had more description for, like, a narratorman, so I could, like, draw that and just do that like that. Like, not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens guy.
It's easy to draw Nair. Nair is just it's honestly like the princess, just like a pure white blank slate.
Yeah, just like
an outline,
just a template of a character.
Yes,
like no hair or anything like that, just a template of a character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or you draw like a combination of a male and female bathroom sign put together.
Yeah,
like one side has the dress, one side doesn't.
Exactly.
Well, like there's no distinguishing features whatsoever.
Well, there are, but it's like the fitness guys or the My Fit or the Wii Fit the Wii Fit coach who like their eyes are just pale and like their nose like they're really subdued like expressions and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you also can't specifically you can't see that that's clearly a female.
Yeah, no,
it has to be androgynous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway,
I'm just saying that's how you draw.
Yeah. I think I know now what the title card's going to be for this one. It's just going to be a poster. Us looking at a poster, it's like aliens, monsters.
Yep.
Or later on for my cultist corner. By the way, I have a cultist corner for this one.
Good.
As I have I have a suggestion or idea as to what the monster is based off of evidence in the story. But moving on to the next actual thought I have. Any semblance of contentment came crashing down for me and my parents the night of July 2nd, 1991. That is the day Jonathan went missing. A ransom note was scrawled in barely legible English and left in his bed demanding $20,000 cash. It informed my parents that if they contacted the police, they would kill Jonathan. Okay, that's not missing, that's kidnapped. I mean, yes, technically he is missing from his location, but you usually don't know the why in the missing. Just like as a technicality, like that's technically kidnapped, not missing. Jonathan isn't missing.
He is missing through kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, like that's like when you like Jonathan went missing, like I kind of assumed like, oh, we're never going to find out what happened to him. But no, like there was a note saying that he was kidnapped. Also, this took a very different turn than I expected. Like I didn't expect. I actually kind of was like, oh, I didn't like. Wait, the kid just gets kidnapped. But then, as I kept reading, I realized that the monster or the man is actually really insidious in this because making this seem like a ransom, like kidnapping kind of thing, and just never going through with it to try and cover your tracks, that's kind of ingenious in terms of like a monster trying to get away with this kind of thing. Because he's hiding inside the basement, like, and he's been doing this for a while. So like that's apparently his tactic is to like set up a ransom note, like, and then just never follow through. My problem with that idea is that if like I hope this has to be the first time he's done this tactic, because if he's done this for all the other cases, why are the cops more smart to it?
Like this house always has missing children.
Or not even this house, but like the community like has like missing people. So I'm wondering if like he goes out because he goes out of the place and like when it's vacant, when the property isn't sold or anything like that, he like is able to leave more freely. And then when somebody moves in, that's when he steals somebody
to make them leave.
Yeah. And then like so he's been like going around the community and like stealing people and stuff like that, or stealing children. And then I hope he's not using the same tactic of like leaving a ransom note that he never like he basically it's like a red herring, like he never like commits to, because he's just trying to like basically cover his own tracks, like his real motives.
Yeah.
Because then the cops are kind of getting a little smart to like that, because like how many babies were in there, how many cold cases there were.
A lot.
Yeah, and it's like the cops are like, oh, we have to. Like, they contact the cops like, oh, we got a ransom. It's like, oh fuck, no, he's not going to come back. He's not going to show up to the spot where you guys sent the ransom. We'll do another way of like trying to find him. Like
like the cops didn't say anything.
Yeah, they didn't mention anything about it. So it kind of throws holes into that idea and asks a few more questions than. Like, how long has he been doing it? Like, how many bones are there? How long has he been doing this?
Yeah.
Has he been doing it for... Has he been taking kids from just this house? Or has he been going out, like, it shows at the end of the story where he, like, walks down the stairs. Like, has he been leaving the house and, like, grabbing kids from, like, elsewhere in the community? But I digress. Like, I was just like... Mm-hmm. I realized, like, that's actually a really smart tactic. I just hope you haven't been doing that the entire time.
Well, maybe he's also a very successful kidnapper, because you can tell if they called the police.
Oh, that's true.
Because he's in the same house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like sneaking into other people's houses. There's other people, like other.
Every single house in this neighborhood has bones underneath the basement
shitty drywall.
stairs.
Has a shitty like drywall section that he adds into it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh fuck! What if he's like one of the maybe this is like a subdivision?
And he's one of the builders.
Yeah, he was one of the builders for all the houses, so he adds in like a little crawl space that he can get into and stuff.
So he got a job as a builder specifically so he could make an entire town of places to hide bodies.
Hey, have you guys seen Greg? Like he's acting kind of weird. He's just like adding drywall down to the basement, so gaudy.
Yeah.
Apparently, he told me in that guttural language of his that the boss wanted some drywall on those stairs. So I guess we have to argue the boss.
Yeah, I guess you gotta do it. Or he is the boss.
yeah. He's actually the head. He has his own like construction company. Nice. And then we're gonna go right into my cultist corner time. So I'm going to start with the final line in the story, or the final like section in the story. The thing that keeps me up at night is that whoever or whatever did this is still out there. The question that plagues my mind is whether or not this monster is literal or figurative. Either way, I hope I never find out. I'm going to call it right now. This creature living in their basement is a New England ghoul. Or a ghoul, or a Lovecraftian ghoul. Evidence number 1. While generally dead eaters, it isn't unheard of for them to make something dead to eat. And the missing heads could be on the children's skeletons and so that could be explained as ghouls consume human brains to gain that person's memories. Now, yes, all its victims are babies and children, so not much like knowledge or memories coming from that. However, I propose that perhaps it goes after those for their pure infantile joy. Like they basically like eat the memories of that give them almost like a humanizing.
It just wants to feel happiness.
Yeah, exactly. It wants to feel happy, so it eats children's brains.
And that's why its spelling was terrible in the ransom note, because it doesn't really know how to...
It's been feeding on baby and infantile intellects. Mm-hmm. Just food for thought. But
literally, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
Did you write that down? Did you write that pun down?
Yes. Evidence number 2. Also, the guttural screaming, while not proprietorial sound effect to ghouls alone, is a staple call for ghouls, like the guttural gibbering, like yowling kind of like sounds. Also, evidence number 3: able to live in tight underground burrows, not unlike the inside of these drywall spaces, and vanish from the premises just as easily because you just burrow yourself into the ground and you hide. So yeah, we never get a setting. We never get like an outdoor kind of location. So it could be anywhere in America, or anywhere really. Not even really bound to America. But like, I don't know, for some reason I got the I kept wanting to like place it somewhere semi-rural at least. Maybe just because like I was filling in the blanks that the story didn't give me.
Yeah.
For the exterior setting.
But that might just be because you're semi-rural.
Yeah, exactly. Like I did kind of just place it in in a subdivision that's in the middle of the woods.
It really does just kind of work anywhere that has a basement.
Yeah.
Really, as long as you have your own house with a basement.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, like you're saying, I feel like that is kind of a good, like a strength to the story because, like, well, yes, you're kind of like, well, where is this place? You can, as a reader, just kind of place it anywhere because it is such a universal interior location.
That is also the appeal of narrative, I think, as well, because you could put yourself in there.
Yeah.
Because there's no distinguishing features on them. Him, her, it, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the whole like Link theory, where like the reason why Link is called Link, and the reason why is because he's basically a link between the character, or between the player and the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's similar kind of thing. It's like, yes, it doesn't have like all the details we'd want in like a story and so that, but like at the same time, it's allowing you to like kind of inhabit that space with your own like additions to it, which does make the story like it is going to be a little bit different from person to person because of the setting, but like at the same time, the core setting is defined in the story. But with all that said, yes, my I'm not saying it's Ghouls, but it's Ghouls. Yeah. That's what's going to be the title card. Just me like doing a Lovecraftian ghoul, just like Ghouls.
Done and done. That being said, you will forget that in 5 minutes.
I'm sure I will. But on to Mikey. What do you got for action thoughts?
Alright, so my issue is that I would like more description on the basement.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it took me rereading the part about the trapdoor and whatnot to actually figure out what he's going on about. So, because the trapdoor under the stairs leads to the other side of the stairs.
Yes.
The other side of the...
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it says.
Yeah.
I was confused there, too. I thought it was, like, essentially, there's the staircase... I'm doing a visual.
Yeah.
Staircase. You're under the staircase. You go under, and then you pop out, like, in front of the last stair. Like, that's it. Yes, that... the trapdoor is in front of the stairs, across the room.
Yeah.
The problem being is, like, it doesn't have to say in front of the stairs.
Yeah,
Well, if you're burrowing under the stairs, it's going to pop out somewhere that's not under the stairs anymore, right?
Yeah, and I think I finally figured out what it meant is that he bashed in the drywall on the side of the stairs.
Yes.
Went into the trapdoor and then came out on the other side of the stairs. So basically the other...
Oh, so you're saying, like... I heard another visual. This table is the basement. This box of Timbits is the staircase on a 45-degree angle. You break in, and then the trapdoor came out over here?
Yeah.
Like on the other side of the break-in
really?
wall.
Like,
This is the middle of the basement kind of deal.
Because the whole other side of the stairs, what's the frame of reference? The only frame of reference is that he smashed in the drywall on the one side of the stair to get the trapdoor.
Well, other side of the stairs, he's on the inside of the stairs, so any place that's not inside the stairs is the other side of the stairs.
Yeah.
It says in front, so, like,
that might be
this area...
Yeah, where the dryer... Maybe that's where the dryer...
So, even if this is... Alright, I'm doing another visual. Even if this is against the wall... Even if this is against the wall, you break in... Like, you can come out in front, anywhere in front of the stairs.
Yeah.
It is a really vague reference to the location.
Because when they meant this, like, I did actually have a couple of moments of pause, mostly from the drywall section, because I was like, originally I didn't realize, when I first did a first round of reading, I didn't realize that the drywall I thought the drywall was all around the entire, like, basement. And not just focused to the stairs. It wasn't until I read him breaking into the underneath the stairs and stuff like that.
Really?
That I went back and I was like, Okay, that's where. Okay, so the drywall was like basically it okay, no, I knew it was near the stairs, but I didn't know where the discoloring was.
Oh.
I thought like everything, like all like the entire basement was covered in drywall, like on their walls. But yeah, no, the discoloration on the drywall is at the stairs themselves. Like that's basically they basically like made that crawl space underneath the stairs blocked off because that's where the bones and all that stuff are.
Yeah.
And that's also where the trap door is in that same crawl space.
It's on the floor.
Yeah, it's on the floor in there. Yeah. So, and then when it says like he popped out like on the other side of the stairs, I kind of just attribute that he popped up on the other side, like so where he crashed into the stair, like crashed through the drywall. That was one side of the stairs in the basement, and then when he popped out through the tunnel, it ended up on the opposite side of that staircase. So the stairs are like maybe in the middle.
The problem is it doesn't say...
It doesn't describe...
No, the problem is
you're
using the wrong words. It doesn't say I popped out on the other side of the stairs. It says I popped out in front of the stairs.
Does it? In front?
That's what was confusing. I think.
To my surprise, the tunnel had led to the other side of the stairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
I crawled out to find myself in the corner of the basement facing the stairs behind a dryer covered in years of dust.
So it is in front.
It's
But
in
it
front,
says
but also to the
other side.
side. It's in front and to the side.
Long story short, it could be described a lot better.
Yeah, which is
I
funny
went,
because
I
we
went
just...
in like essentially just I went in the crawl space underneath the stairs and popped out in the left corner of the basement behind the behind the dryer.
Yeah, it could have. I would have actually wouldn't have minded if it actually explained where in the basement the stairs like come down from. Like, is it in the middle of the basement, or is it like to the side, or is it like to the back?
I think when it first describes the drywall, it says that the drywall is all the way around it.
Okay, so
which means it would be not against a wall.
So it would be in the middle, basically, or like off to the side in the middle somewhere.
So I think it says that.
Which is fine because that's usually how where stairs usually end up in a basement, as is evident from my. Well, you can't tell now, but when the house was like not finished, when the basement wasn't finished, we had our basement. Mm-hmm. We had basically like a section like a little like the hallway area was all that was actually like put up, like all these walls, the other walls and stuff like that. Those were all done later, like post us moving in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like we added all that stuff. But yeah, like we actually used to be able to just walk around the hallway to the other side of the basement.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. Honestly, I kind of just wanted a map of the basement. I think the story would actually.
I don't think it would benefit from a map.
I don't know. I think it would be really like I think it might help if there was just a map at the end of the story of just a rough layout of the basement.
Maybe, or just describe it better.
Yeah, which is funny because we did just says like how like the like you don't need to have a description, or like we were talking about how like it doesn't need to have an external description because you can just insert your own. But that's
the problem. This is a plot point.
Yeah, this is actually this is a core plot point.
Yeah. And yeah, it does say this. The stairs were surrounded in drywall, which clashed with the rest of the basement. So I'm assuming the walls of the rest of the basement were unfinished.
Yeah,
and the only drywall was around the sides and back of the stairs that go up.
Yes, and when I read it a second time, like to double check, it's like so it was the drywall was just on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then another thing, just bashing into the drywall, it's going to hurt, and it's only going to make a small hole. Like you're not going to go
really.
It's not like those old cartoons where you just run into it and jump, and then you make an imprint of your body in the drywall,
or like in action movies where you're just like just bashing through each one.
Yeah.
Also, he's in a drunken stupor, so pain doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he literally said I ran at it in full force kind of deal.
Yeah.
I came at it in full force.
Yeah, but have you
I'm sure that's a
ever...
great sound effect for our audience.
Yeah. Have you ever demolished drywall?
Yeah. No.
You
need a sledgehammer, usually.
Yeah, usually. And there's also studs.
No, not necessarily in this case.
Yeah, not in this case.
There's a weird area of drywall around the staircase. So that doesn't, like... What's to say that it's studded all the way through? It could just be on the corners.
Yeah, it might. There might be a little bit of framework, but so basically he lucked out, and went between two of these support beams, or two of the not even support beams.
It doesn't need
two
support beams.
No, it doesn't. But he went through. But he may have just lucked out and went between two frames, or between the frames, basically.
I'm just saying, like, if it's not there by code or anything, it could literally just be there's 4 beams that go up on each corner, and then the drywall's just clapped to it like a box.
Well, clearly, Baseman, as I'm going to call him now, Baseman.
Okay.
I can't even take credit for that. I was watching a top 5 like creepy things in the basement, and like the picture they had as like the title card was the Baseman.
He's just a guy that plays bass.
It's just a creepy guy looking up the stairs from basement. And I was like, ugh. But yeah,
also playing bass though.
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. So the Baseman, when he was getting contracted to do this work, he just had some boys do some like add in some thinner than normal like drywall. And the reason why there's a discoloration between like that doesn't fit the thing is it's actually not like a blotch or anything. It's just a specific, like slightly off color version of the drywall that he can open up like as a door.
Yeah. And so he broke through the door part.
Or that like the disgusting like meals he's been having in that inside has actually like molded and discolored the drywall.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually weaker now. So he's able to just bash through it. Like so somebody could feasibly just bash through it because it's been weakened by mold and decay.
Surprisingly plausible.
Yeah. And then the next part is the whole crawl space scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a concrete crawl space.
The floor's concrete.
Yep.
Ghouls can burrow through concrete.
He worked on making the place. We already established this. he poured these with the crawl space already there.
Yeah.
He rationalized, it's for like heating ducts and stuff.
Yeah, we're building. We're gonna put a vent under here.
Yeah.
To go. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's surprising what you can get away with when you bullshit a backstory for a monster.
Yeah. I mean, you guys do that every time you do the SFTF.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm actually personally surprised that the exit location wasn't found sooner, even though it's behind a dryer.
I have a question about that. Generally speaking, every single dryer I've seen in my entire life is against the wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one was as well. My guess is that it's able to be moved easily. So like you like just push it over to the maybe. What needs to be added?
He was hiding behind the dryer.
What needs to be added to the story is that the dry. Well, nobody's been living in the base. Nobody's been living in this house for a while by the dust collecting. So maybe the monster just got lazy and left the dryer ajar. Like from the hole.
Oh, so normally you would come up and you would come out the wall, and there would be a dryer there, and you have to push the dryer.
Exactly, yeah. That was kind of my guess. Was that basically the dryer is acting as a cover / door for the hole in the wall.
Then what it should say is, after crawling through, the only way out was up, and then it was just an opening to the basement, and I see that the dryer was pushed ahead.
Yeah.
But the problem there is that homeowners are going to change the dryer because they get old and
then
need to be fixed and whatnot. So it's a
fine.
horrible...
I'll bullshit another reason. It's not just a hole. There's a trap door that he made that looks like the wall, or magic,
or people are lazy and don't want to move a huge honking piece of appliance if it's not broken. Don't fix it.
And every time that starts to break down...
You call a repairman.
No, you don't. Well, you could, but the repairman might say, take it out. Like, as soon as it starts messing up, the base man just goes through his passage and just starts working on the back of it to fix it. I like this character. He's weird.
He eats babies, but whatever.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
He runs he has
a contracting...
contracting company.
He does ghouls jobs.
Oh yeah,
they're all ghouls. All the construction workers he has, or just it's Pikmin and Pikmin construction.
Mm-hmm. And he makes homes for them as well. Yeah. All of his workers live in the basement underneath the stairs.
They live in the basement too. Sorry.
Okay, he should be.
I'm in that one. That was terrible. I'm bailing on that one.
But
Yeah, it just builds like special ghoul-friendly basement homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Burrowing better worlds. It's like Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and the other part I have is like, how did he get past the monster?
The power of nope. The power of noping the fuck out. Okay, so the ghoul came down, or the monster came down.
Yeah.
Stairs. Went over to the side. Saw the hole in his drywall, flipping out, looking inside, and that's when Narratorman, who's in front of the stairs,
sees an opening and runs,
and just books it.
Yes, but the question becomes, why did the ghoul go basically to the right instead of going to the left? Because he goes to the hole to go under the stairs. What made him go around the other way?
What?
Yeah, I kind of with it is like, why did he go toward the discoloration on the unless it was supposed to be some kind of like secondary entrance, and that the tunnel is just an escape route.
I thought he got down and then he immediately checked where it was broken.
No, because why would he notice that? It's on the side of the stairs. He's going to. He should be beelining basically.
So you're saying that the dryer is one way in and out?
Yeah.
I don't believe it is.
Well, the problem is like that.
That's a secondary attack area.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Is like the drywall. Maybe it's his main entrance. Like maybe it actually is some kind of door. That's why it's discolored. Because whenever I keep hearing whenever I kept reading discolored, I was thinking of like a giant blotch or something like that of discoloration. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's just like one panel of the drywall.
It's an entire panel, I think, because it says one particular section of the wall was colored differently than the rest.
Okay, that's basically like hinting that it's probably just a doorway or something like that the creature can or maybe not even a doorway. It's just not attached properly, so you can just pop it off, slide it over, and then slide it back in.
Or it's colored weird because it's colored with magic.
Yes.
And you can go, and it makes a door, and then he just walks in, and then he goes, and closes it again.
And only like young people can see the discoloration because they have like more like in touch with their
But he goes back as an adult.
I know that. Well, he's inebriated, so only kids and drunk people.
Yeah, there you go.
His perception's been skewed.
Yeah, okay, that's.
But it would have also been like if that was the case, it would have been interesting if he came back as an adult. And like his parents like never saw it, and when he comes back as an adult, he can't find the discoloration.
Yeah. He's like, damn it! He just sits in the basement drinking beer, and he's like, it's looking a little weird.
I know it was hair. Oh no, but he knows where it is. Like he knows where the discoloration was. So maybe he just like fuck it.
Yeah,
I know it's there. Just smashes into it. Yeah. Because he's drunk too, apparently. But yeah, no, like I get what you're saying though, Mikey. Yeah, it's like why did the ghoul go for the side? Unless he heard, like maybe he was somewhere else in the house when he heard that, like the smashing and some of that. So he went over to investigate that.
But if he heard the smashing and the guy went into the crawl space, he's an adult going into a crawl space to find out where it goes.
Yeah.
The monster would have been down a lot sooner than by the time he got to the end of the crawl space.
He might have been like just outside like the house itself, or maybe
I don't think the monster heard him break.
Yeah, probably not. I'm trying to rationalize why he would go to the scene of the crime, essentially to the scene of the broken.
It's probably literally just the hole in the wall behind the dryer is not the one way in and out.
Yeah, no, that's the other rationalization is that
he built the place. It's fine. You push on it in this one area, and it goes. It just opens.
Or it's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's actually a very tech savvy ghoul.
Yes.
Yep.
And how did no one notice the smell?
Insulated.
Yeah.
The smell of the decaying bodies under the stairs.
I mean, they're not decayed body. He eats them very cleanly. They're just bones. Those generally don't smell unless there's actual meat on them.
I suppose.
Ha!
All right. And then the Nair drinking and driving to and from the house.
Not too smart.
Yeah. I mean, he's a broken family, like a broken life, like, yeah. I'm not giving him a pass. Like, if you're depressed or have broken, that does not give you a pass to drink and drive. But like, yeah, shouldn't be drinking and driving.
Mm-hmm. He's the real monster.
Well, it's like the cops is like the cop. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised the cops didn't catch him on that when he showed up at the precinct.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how much have you been drinking, sir?
Yeah. Well, I think it's more along the lines of, okay, he's been drinking, and he just did breaking and entering.
But he did find he did basically resolve all of these cold cases we've had for decades.
Yeah, so we're still going to praise him.
Yes. You're a community hero, sir. Click. You go in jail. or you're going to go into the drunk tank for overnight.
Yeah. And that's my actual thoughts. Gamer,
I'm just reading for a second. Hang on. It doesn't specifically say that he walked downstairs and checked out where it broke. It's just like he walked downstairs and there's hiding behind the dryer thinking, oh, what's going to happen when he finds out? And then there's a screaming.
Yeah.
Which is assumed that he found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like specifically say.
No. And then just suddenly...
It is more than
before I knew it, I was up the stairs running for my life. It's like...
Yeah, I do actually have one of my gripes about the story is that it does kind of paraphrase the ending. Yeah. Like, it's just like, bam, this happened, bam, this happened, bam, this happened, bam, they found the bones I mentioned, bam, I'm a hero now, bam, I'm afraid for my life, bam, my dad and I finally have closure though, bam, but that monster's out there, done. like everything else was like multiple pages to get to this point, and then this is done within like 2 or 3 pages.
It's like, oh crap, I'm wording at a word count.
Yeah, this is done within like 2 or 3 paragraphs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, on the notes, so we're after reading the title, I'm like, okay, that's really long, and then I start reading the story. Oh, okay, that's even longer.
Yeah.
So, is that like the original title?
Yeah.
And then it had to be cut down because it was too long?
Yeah.
And it's still too long when cut down, kind of? So what would you suggest as a alternate title? The Baseman?
Yeah, the base. No, because that spoils what's actually going on. Maybe
the weirdness in the basement.
Discolored drywall.
That's actually creepy.
The thing behind the drywall.
But that also...
that is not that long.
No, I'm saying it spoils...
Oh, yeah, it spoils a little bit. Yeah, but I mean... Or, like, the thing in my basement. Or the truth about my basement.
Mm-hmm. Why I don't go in my basement. Like, there's...
Yeah. Something a little bit shorter and, like, that doesn't, like... Isn't a fucking sentence, but also isn't, like, doesn't spoil, like, with the title.
Mm-hmm. And then moving on to me learning words. Doted, I never heard before.
Oh.
It's to be extremely and uncritically fond of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then errant, which is erring or straying from proper course or actions, aka weirdness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then trepidation, a feeling of fear or agitation about something that might happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then indelible, not being able to be forgotten or removed.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all words I learned today.
Wow.
I don't do a lot of reading.
Our audience is like...
He's an idiot. I know all these words.
Why is Gamer on here?
I don't know either.
Yeah. And they're like, oh man, I really needed that SMB3 clarification that Mikey pointed out.
Well, so why do you even have co-hosts? Just get rid of them. You got this.
I really don't. I'd be really lonely if I did this alone.
Yeah, I suppose. But moving on.
Yeah.
So when the bodies are found, heads are gone.
Yep.
I'm curious why.
Yeah.
Like you brought up the ghoul situation, the Bryans out of them.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, that's just me Cthulhuing all over the story.
But even if that was the case, is it like he kills them elsewhere by ripping their head off and eating it, and then brings the body home for? I
honestly think like
for more.
I'm okay not knowing, like in story, like without like my Cthulhu thing. I'm actually okay not knowing because that's a fucked up like creepy thing. Like, and I think it's just there like to be more fucked up and like, weird. And like, I'm fine with that because like, what the fuck?
Where the monster just specifically eats the entire head.
Yeah,
But not the rest of the body.
Or just takes them as trophies. Like, this is actually where he dumps them.
Yeah.
Or like where he like.
It's a predator situation. He has an alien ship somewhere.
Like somewhere babies.
Yeah, totally.
Oh god, like
He's a baby predator.
The stairs move.
Into the forest. Yeah, what they don't tell you is if you look up, there's like handholds, and if you climb up through the ceiling and pop out in the forest. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Right? No. And then my next question is, what does the monster need 20k for? Like, in the idea that it's literally the monster writing a ransom note, and if you actually don't... I know, I heard you.
Yeah.
But if the idea is, like, if you literally don't call the cops, he just gives you your kid back and he takes the money. What the hell does he need money for? If he's literally a monster.
No, yeah.
It's because he needs to pay off the people so that he can keep the house.
Or he's got to pay his contract. He's got to pay his employees at his construction job. This is actually how he does it on the off seasons.
But the people buy the houses.
Yeah, but he doesn't own the houses.
No.
Contractors don't like.
I'm
the people
aware.
who built our houses did not own the properties, so that unless they did, but
or it could just be that when he's out and about, he needs cash to feed his cocaine addiction.
We're adding a lot of story into this monster.
Simple explanation. It was a ruse.
Yeah.
Like, it was a tactic to like keep people like. Because honestly, I think it's actually kind of genius and creepy as fuck because the guy or monster is giving this false ransom, like this false hope to this family. He's eating the kid. He's already eaten the kid.
Yeah.
Kid's dead, but he does that to like kind of get them off his trail. Like they think it's just an outside like kidnapper. They don't realize he's in the creature is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like he's basically just using it to like to cover his tracks to like.
So they know that this guy kidnapped him. He didn't show up. I guess he's gone. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Also,
where if there was no word, then they would be doing a whole bunch of like searches and
they'd search the house and some of that. But by this point, by putting a letter there, he draws attention away from the house.
That someone took the kid out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So the number is meaningless because he doesn't actually care about the money.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's about it for my notes.
Okay.
Until final thoughts.
Well, on to final thoughts then. I enjoyed the read. Dumb. No.
Cool. No. Mikey.
It had some good creepy moments here and there. That said, I feel like a round of editing needs to be done to clean up certain paragraphs. In certain spots, and specifically at the end, the pacing does sort of just happen over the course of a few paraphrased paragraphs. And I get why. Like, the guy was in a panic at the time and just noped out of the situation. But when you're sitting down writing this account, both in fiction and as the author, who's not in danger or in a hurry or anything like that...
How do you know? The monster could be chasing him.
Then you can take a little bit more time to extrapolate on, like, the aftermath of the spooks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, just like you don't have it's one of those things like you kind of get. I understand why like authors do it because they get kind of lost in their own like tension and like excitement and build up.
Yeah,
but they're like, oh, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and then you're done, and then like okay, you need to go back because you've been speed writing.
Yeah, it's like if you watched a horror movie and there's all this build up, and then the only horrifying thing happens in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's essentially like the pacing of how it went.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter how good that is. The 5 minutes of horrifyingness, you
need to give a little bit more proper like attention to the ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That said, all in all, I'd give this a mostly positive partial recommendation, like 85%, 80%. Like again, needs a couple of rounds of editing just to like fix something, clean up some stuff, and like maybe elaborate on a few things. like the layout of the basement or
Like the tunnel situation.
Tunnel situation,
And the fact that it's in concrete.
and well, that's fine.
Is it?
Monsters? And
He owns a contracting company.
yeah, it's fun. And then like just the paraphrased ending like needs to be like add a few more words in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little bit more wordsmithing.
Needs to be paragraphed, not paraphrased.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I'd recommend it. It just needs a little bit more polish, but it's got a good thing going for it. Like in terms of like the creepy scenario and such. Oh yeah, also this was one that was also suggested by Askill.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention that at the beginning because this is we're still in the roster of recommendations from Askill.
Nice. Well, so far so good.
Yep.
Is this the second one we've done?
No, he's done. He's suggested a bunch of them. Like
I just haven't given him credit.
Well, I haven't given credit
forget.
because I actually like I didn't know if he wanted credit like his name, and then I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, just go by Askiel."
Cool.
He's also the one. Unfortunately, he's also the one that did Dandelion, which I have no fucking idea why that one. But that's a whole. Other, we
talked about it already.
Refer to our Dandelion episode now. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, that's my final recommendations. Mikey.
Alright, so for me it started off well with the tapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then my biggest problem is that the basement needs more description. And the whole crawl space concrete tunnel scenario that in my mind I envisioned it was the only way in or out of underneath the stairs.
Yeah.
So when I assume that was the only way, because it doesn't actually state otherwise.
You know what assuming does.
But it doesn't also state otherwise.
Yeah.
So when he's hiding behind the dryer, I didn't know why the monster didn't just go straight for him.
This is like, hi. Oh.
Pretty much. Like, it would have been cooler if that is the one way in and out. He's coming towards him. He's like, shit, I have to go back into the lair sneakily.
That would have been a fucking... Yeah.
And it's like, shit.
Yeah, no,
and then he has to be like really quiet around the bones and not step on them.
Yeah,
and then as he's about to leave, he steps on one and makes a crack. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and then he's like, fork.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That actually be like really much better. Like if you like had to backtrack through the tunnel because he saw the creature coming, like beelining for that.
And because he's in the tunnel, he has to go backwards. So he'd be potentially seeing it in the distance.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, that would make the story like that.
He has to go ass first out.
That, sir, is what you need to add to the ending of the story is having because otherwise it doesn't really quite make a whole lot of sense. Like from a reader's perspective,
and that does draw out the fear more too.
Exactly, yeah. And then we can get a little bit of a description. You don't have to give a lot of description of the monster, just a few
something.
inklings, yeah.
Like the shape of the shadow in the distance.
All we have to go on is that it was vaguely. It has 2 feet, presumably, because it was walking downstairs. Mm-hmm. And it has a guttural like screech.
Yeah,
and that it eats children and takes their heads. And it has a crawl and it's good at hiding and it's good at scrawling up like ransom notes and
it owns a contracting company.
And isn't there also it can fly? Because the shadow on the car at the end.
Okay, no, I figured that it just like was like either like right next door, like it just like came like running to
like essentially the light from the house. It went in front of the light of the house, which cast its shadow on the front of the car.
Yeah, it's not flying.
Okay.
That's what.
Although if it was again, that would be he's like driving like, shit. Like, as this thing's
there was a car chase.
Like it's like the fucking Jeepers Creepers monster. Mm-hmm. He's got like giant bat wings coming at him. It's like
yep. Or the other way to do it, with it being the same situation now, where it's on the way, it spots it, the break in the wall, and it gives him a chance to run. Essentially, if the staircase is coming down, and then the break is on the one side, okay, and then if the passageway to get in there is on the same side as the break, then as he comes down and goes to go in the passageway, he might notice the break in the wall out of the corner of his eye. And he'd be like, what the hell? And then as he goes to look in, it's like, shit.
yeah.
So if it was described to say I came out facing the broken hole in the wall, and like I could see a vague shadow of the monster come down and peek in, and like, this is my one chance to get out of here, and I ran past him.
Yeah.
Either way, 2 better options.
Yeah. Like if Cliff Barlow, if you're listening, just some free suggestions for improvement.
Yeah.
In our opinion, of course.
Yeah. I'm not saying
Which is probably wrong.
Yeah, so the whole rush at the end I didn't like.
Yeah.
So it's really only a very small partial recommendation for me.
like 50%,
Less than 50%.
40%,
He said very small. Very small is like 20.
20%. Wow.
Fair.
But still a recommendation. Doesn't wait, how does this recommendation?
It's a 1% recommendation.
But it's not 0 and it's not negatives.
Yeah, negatives are not recommended.
Yeah. It's like I'd recommend I'd minus negative 100 when I recommend this.
Do not even read the title of this.
Yeah.
So to me then, I guess.
Yep.
Well, I've chimed in with the possible changes to the ending there.
That were awesome.
Which would make it a lot better. But with what we got, I liked a little bit of backstory. I felt it unnecessary that Jonathan had a name when no one else did.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And
Poor
like his name is just kind of dropped randomly
Yeah.
after he's introduced. So all mention of Jonathan's name could just be my little brother.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then it's all uniform. No one has a name. That's fine.
That would be a good title, by the way. My little brother. Because it doesn't... he's the subject of the story, but he's not the key subject of the story. Like, and it doesn't spoil much of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would actually... And he is actually the focus of, like, a lot of the tragedy, because, like, him going missing or being taken by the creature and being eaten destroys this family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, actually, I think My Little Brother would be a great title for the story.
It would be, yeah, for sure. But yeah, with what we got, I didn't mind it. There's the confusion with the same confusion we're all having with the basement and the trapdoor situation and how it can come out behind the dryer, even though dryers are against the wall.
But it's
the only other way that could be is this is a broken dryer that was just pushed aside, and it's covered in. It does say it's covered in years of dust.
Yeah,
but that could just be
from like nobody being in the house, right?
But either way, it could be one that's broken and off to the side, so that's a reason that there's something behind it. And the reason that no one would refer to it, because it's like, oh, that's just in the junk corner, you know. I'll throw that out when I want to throw it out. But, yeah. With what we got, I enjoyed it. It was spooky. It's just the problem is the ending is way too quick. It needs to be drawn out with some sort of tension in the basement where like he has to figure out how to get out without it noticing. And then it does notice, and then he has to run. Okay. And a little glimpse of the creature would be good. Just like so he can see that, okay, there's some weird silhouette. I can barely see it, but it's looking in there. This is my one chance to leave. Because it seems too easy for him to leave.
Yeah, like, what if, like, we saw just the silhouette, like, he sees, like, the silhouette of vaguely humanoid figure, or, like, it clearly looks like a man, like, in terms of, like the shadow and stuff like that. But then when it turns, you see, like, yellow, like, cat eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a... Like, that's really... Even, like, that's fine. Like, that's enough.
Yes,
like,
for sure. Yeah, I don't want to see him, like, turn on a floodlight and just pose.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want the Bye-Bye Man. Where...
The Bye-Bye
Sorry, the Bye-Bye Man.
The Bye-Bye Man.
Where, like, by the end of the movie, spoilers for the Bye-Bye Man, you get him in, like, full glory, and his giant, like, corpse hound, and just, like, epic music's playing, and he's about to, like, get the main character, and then then the main character shoots himself to save the world. It's like, yeah, no, it was like...
Yeah.
I like, the whole movie up to that point was like, ooh, spooky, creepy, and then just like, yes, now the reveal, and it's like...
Well, they're wanting
CGI.
They're wanting to make him a character like Jason, you know, where Jason's just there in full glory all the time. But he's still scary.
The idea of the Bye-Bye Man is that, like, yeah, that's an episode.
Yeah, we're not
episode,
talking about this.
We're not doing El Dente. What's our
Real talk?
Yeah, we're not doing El Dente Real Talk yet.
Indeed.
Yeah,
at some point in the future. Either way, I enjoyed it. I just wish the ending was stretched out more. So I'll give it a half recommendation. Okay. It could use a little work, but what's there is good.
Yeah, it's got a good, like, foundation.
Yeah.
You know, despite the...
With the tunnel in it, yeah.
And the shoddy, like, drywall work on the in the basement.
It'd be cool if, when he was in the tunnel, it was described that it looked like...
Had been carved out.
It carved out with claws, even though it's through concrete.
Yeah. Or that it had been like added like as part of the building.
Yeah, like it's completely cleanly cut, like it was supposed to be there.
Then we have evil fucking like a monstrous like construction company.
Yep.
That would be a really cool like thing to explore in stories. Like an evil like we always see evil corporations like like evil Walmart or Abandoned by Disney and so where like, Disney's the villain and or like other like we generally they're corporations, so like they're generally like corporate things. Like
this is a smaller scale.
It's white collar, like white collar evil. Versus this would be blue collar evil, technically, right? Blue collar is the.
I think so.
Blue collar is the construction worker guys, yeah, or like construction worker in like trades, basically. Mm-hmm. Like that would be a cool thing to have, like an evil, like construction company or like utility kind of company, like go after or to be chased after by, because like it is literally employed and populated by monsters.
Yep. And they're really good at building shit, but they have to eat babies every once in a while.
They're really good at building shit because they're subverting human society by like creating homes for their own monstrous kin to feast on us like parasites or predators, because parasites don't completely kill off the donor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's a thing where like there is all these out there.
Yeah.
It's just this one guy went nuts and actually started murdering, not just like.
Oh, so like the company. So it is a monstrous company, construction company, but it's not evil.
Yeah.
It's just this one guy. Like people are not. And people are not evil. Mm. A person can be evil.
Yes.
Or a group of people can be evil, but not people as a whole are not inherently
evil. So this entire subdivision or whatever. All of them have a ghoul in the basement, but most of them, he's just living there.
Yeah,
and then when everyone goes to bed, he leaves and
gets his food somewhere.
Food, like eats a rabbit or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or goes to the nearest graveyard and just eats the dead.
Yeah, of course. That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing anything harmful. Like, they're eating bodies, but I mean, like, they're going to be eaten by worms anyway. So
of course, yes. And they have their monthly meeting to discuss what everyone's doing.
Yeah, and then Ghoul Greg, the guy at this property, went a little nuts. Like lost a little too much sand when he transformed into a ghoul, and so now he's a cannibal. Like he's more of a human carnivore now.
Yeah,
because I don't know if he'd be a cannibal after he turns into a ghoul. Because a ghoul is technically a separate species. It's not a separate species. They're more subhuman. Like, they're more like a subspecies of human.
Yeah.
Because of the necrophage. Anyway, we're getting a little off topic from the story. Back to brass tacks. Mostly recommend. Very little least amount recommend. Half recommend.
60-70-ish. Okay. I still enjoy it. I really wish the ending was stretched out so there's more tension and fear. Yeah, instead of just, I'm out, go. And it works. Yeah.
That's fair. Alright, so that's our week's episode. So if you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below, wherever this gets posted. Whether it be on QB6, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. You can also leave us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTS @gmail.com. Where you can leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. We actually got a new comment, or a new suggestion. One called Chicken Bone, or Chicken Soup. I think
delicious.
Is the story? Yeah. We'll have to find out about that one. Maybe we'll do that next time. Okay. And you can also talk to us on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. The Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow without the W because they won't give him that last. They've taken that.
They took my character for the ad symbol.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have quite the amount of skills that he needs to take them down.
Not yet, no. I'm working on it.
Yeah. And then I'm at Review Cultist, all one word. Actually, I think all of ours are one word. Basically, like, the E stands for evil, Gamer in Yellow.
You can't have spaces.
Yeah.
Those underscores probably, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. But
regardless.
Yeah. You can help support the show by going to Patreon, look up Dente Rigamortis, and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $5 and $2 tier with extra content, special episodes, early access to episodes about 2 or 3 days before they get launched. And to our patrons that are already helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because seriously, without you guys, we really wouldn't have much of a show. So until next time, I've been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.